Last weekend, I had the honor of attending the red carpet at the 20th Annual Golden Goggle Awards. I got to interview many of the best swimmers in the country. And it was the experience of a lifetime, and I'm so thankful to USA Swimming and to everybody who has supported me to get to this point. I'll be highlighting in this video all of the award winners that I spoke with first, and then I'll be showing the rest of the interviews that I got to do with so many amazing people, and some of the pictures that I took of people who I didn't get to interview. Thank you to everybody who's tuned in and supported me. Watching my interviews and watching the videos that I've made has opened doors to stuff like this for me to do, and I hope it continues to open those doors, because I had so much fun.
And the Golden Goggle Award goes to...
Bobby Finke. So thank you for voting for me. That was an incredible race, especially by Hafnaoui, who beat me by 5/100ths in a mile, which stings a lot. But you know, it was an incredible race. Can't thank you guys enough. USA Swimming Foundation, Team Shack over there. My sponsors, Tier Sport, they're in the house. They came, and yeah, just thank you guys so much for all the support and going into a good year this year. It's exciting. Thank you.
So, Bobby, in the past couple of years, you've become like the guy for American distance swimming, and it's sort of, you've been part of like a revitalization of distance swimming really across the world. And like, especially this year, 7 of the top 10 times ever were swum. Can you talk about like your excitement every time you step up in the blocks, racing like Paltrinieri, Velbrock, and now like Hafnaoui?
I mean, my favorite thing about swimming is my competitiveness, and I enjoy racing the best in the world. And right now we got 10 of the best guys in the world, and they're all actively swimming. And I know every time when I'm going on the blocks, it's going to be a good race. And I like racing, and I'm going to do my best to be there.
So in Tokyo, you were hitting like 4th or 5th going into like that last 100, and then you kind of surprised all of those guys.
Yeah.
Can you talk about like how it felt doing that, how it felt coming from behind, not once, but twice, to win 2 Olympic gold medals?
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm not going to lie, I surprised myself too. But, you know, the first time was great. The second time, I was really playing to that strength. The only thing going on in my mind in that race was I was just trying to hang with those guys. And if they were going to be able to outkick me at the end, that's just how it was going to be. But I was going to do the best I could to get my hand on that wall when it came to the 1500 in Tokyo.
So last question for you. As a guy who's personally been beaten in the mile by like as little as a margin of 6/100ths, can you talk about the experience racing Hafnaoui this summer and like the excitement that both of you had realizing that like, okay, 1430 is possible?
Yeah. I mean, I love Hoffa. We've actually been racing this like entire past year since Tier Pro Series. We raced a bunch. Incredible racer. He's pushed me to my best, obviously. And I have like nothing but respect for the guy, and I love him very much. He's put me incredible person, incredible racer, and I'm excited to race him even more at future meets. Doesn't even have to be Worlds or anything. It could be another Tier Pro Series or US Open coming up, but I love racing him.
It's definitely exciting. It feels like we're in like a golden age for men's distance swimming.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, and the winner is Jack
Alexi.
I just want to firstly congratulate Dare, Thomas, and Katie. They're all awesome swimmers and athletes and great swims throughout the summer. I want to say thank you to USA Swimming and the USA Swimming Foundation for an amazing night and their continuous support this past year. Next, I want to thank my Cal Bear family. I know there are many of you out here tonight. And I want to thank Dave Durden specifically for giving me a shot to be on his team in this program. Truly one of the greatest programs in the world, and an honor to be on the team. I lastly want to thank my family. It's an honor that they're here tonight, really special to me. They've been so supportive in my ups and downs, regardless of my results and performance, and I'm just so happy I can make them proud. I want to thank my mom and dad for everything they've given me in my life and my siblings' lives, and providing us with so much and sacrificing so much so that we have many opportunities. And I just want to say thank you to everyone being here, and go Team USA.
So, Jack, heading into this summer, you, like a lot of guys in the 100 freestyle, wasn't really on anybody's radar to make a splash at World Championships. And then you dropped a bunch of time to make the team, dropped a bunch of time at World Championships, and won a silver medal in both the 50 and the 100. Can you talk about that experience this summer and like how you felt coming away from it and heading into the Olympic year?
Yeah, I'm truly grateful for my results this past summer and the experiences that I had. Truly an honor to represent Team USA on the international stage, and just really excited to see what the next 8 months holds for Team USA and myself personally.
So being on that medley relay at the World Championships with 3 other Cal guys,
Yep.
how exciting was that to be able to swim with teammates and with people that you train with and win a medal?
It was truly special. I mean, I was in the ready room before that race, looking to my left and right, looking at Ryan Murphy, Nick Finke, Dari Rose, and myself, and just having supreme confidence that we were going to go in that race, win it, execute it, and do it with some style. And it was just really a fun experience and truly an honor to be on that relay.
That's awesome, man. It definitely almost feels like you're swimming like a practice when you get to compete with a few of your teammates on like the biggest stage in the world.
Yeah, definitely. And it was like, just like you said, it was just like a practice, really fun, really calming to be with my teammates there, and just overall great experience that I'll be forever grateful for.
Awesome, man.
And the winner is
Lydia Jacoby.
Hey everyone, thank you so much. This means so much. I was up here in 2021, straight out of the Olympic Games at 17, receiving Breakout Swimmer of the Year. And at that point, I never would have imagined that in just 2 years, I would be up here receiving an award for perseverance. After missing the Worlds team in 2022, I was forced to come to the realization that I had been struggling and continue to struggle with depression and some other mental health struggles. And I've learned so much. I've been through so many highs and so many lows. I'd like to thank so many people who have been in my corner through all of this. You know who you are. Thank you Thank you to USA Swimming Foundation for putting on this incredible event, and all of you who continue to support all of us athletes through all of our highs and lows. We've all been through it, so I'm honored to accept this award not only for myself, but for Ashley and for all of those of you in the room who have struggled with something. Missing that team in 2022 felt like the end of the world, but I've come to realize in these past couple of years that it was the beginning of a new one, and that really is the meaning of perseverance. So for everyone in this room who has struggled with something and overcome something in the last 2 years, whether that be in the office, in the pool, at work, at home, in your personal life, or even in your head, I'd like to accept this award on behalf of all of you, so thank you so much.
In the past couple of years, you went from being a teenager from Alaska to an Olympic champion.
I did.
Texas college swimmer. What's that transition been like over the past 3 or 4 years? And how have you handled it, especially like as you head into next summer?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been huge changes. I think I'm very blessed to have had a year in between my transition from home to college. I think that gave me the time I needed to grow and develop me ready for that change, and just accept all the changes that had come into my life previously. But I'm very happy with my coaching and my support system right now leading into the Olympics.
So, after the Olympics, you sort of had an off year in 2022.
I did.
Coming into this year and winning an NCAA title and making that World Championship team again, how does that make you feel, like knowing like, all right, I've still got this, I'm back, like, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, winning NCs was huge. I think I said in my interview there, that was my first big win since the Olympics, at least from like inside me, like knowing me, that's how I felt, like the first big win in my head. So I'm just absolutely honored to have kind of bounced back and found the right people around me and gotten back to myself in the pool.
So one last question for you. Going from Alaska to Texas is a big jump. What was that change like going from, like, you talked about not having like a 50-meter pool,
Yeah.
to like now having like probably 2 or 3?
Yeah, no, it's been crazy. I mean, in Alaska, I trained in a 25-yard, 6-lane, our high school pool. And now I'm training, I have an 8-lane, 50-meter pool, another pool outside with 50-meter lanes, 25-meter lanes. We have a dive tank with 25 yards, like everything you could ask for. So it's just been a huge change, and it's just really made me appreciate where I came from and just learning that, like, to be confident in yourself and know that you're the one that's getting yourself places and not necessarily the facilities or the resources that you have access to.
That's awesome, and I bet it's like helped you a lot, like in your recovery and your training. You just have
Absolutely,
more stuff.
for sure.
All right. And the winner is Ryan Murphy.
I think we're happy with you retired in the backstroke races. They're competitive enough. We've heard a lot about the USA Swimming Foundation tonight, and I just want to reiterate our thanks to the USA Swimming Foundation. It's truly a noble mission to increase access to this incredible sport and to support the Olympians trying to achieve on the biggest stage. I want to thank Speedo for always putting me in technology that I could be confident in behind the blocks. I want to thank Goldfish Swim School for your inspiration. You're truly just quality people all the way around. You're exposing so many people to our sport every single week, and it's an honor to be partnered with you. I want to thank my family. My family always shows up like it's my first World Championships. I've been to a couple of these now, and I tell them every year, it's like, hey, I know it's an expensive trip, you don't have to go. And every single time my mom's like, no, we're gonna be there, we'll be at every session. And they pregame it like it's my first swim meet as well. I want to thank my new wife, Bridget. You truly are an incredible support for me. You see so much of what goes into this sport, and you never complain. Sometimes I'm on the ground, I'm in happy baby pose at 9 p.m., and you're never telling me to get off the ground and come up and hang out with you on the couch. So thank you so much for your support of me. And it's incredible to get an award from Matt Grievers. I think a pivotal part in my career was the 2012 Olympic trials. I made the trials final in the 100 back. I was in lane 2 as a 16-year-old. I got to watch Grievers and Nick Thoman celebrate making the Olympic team. They were the number 1 and 2 times in the world. And right after that race, I was in the media zone, not 5 minutes after. Matt Grievers walks by me, he taps me on the shoulders, and he goes, "You're next, kid." And I think that level of confidence that you had in me, just that little urge to believe in myself, that's something that really meant a lot to me at that point in my career. And I really do think it propelled me to a lot of success that I've had. Go USA.
So, Ryan, in 2016, you were like kind of the upstart guy. Like, you had a phenomenal World Championships the previous summer, but you sort of uprooted men's backstroke and made the team and won a gold medal and set a world record. How has your experience and your mindset changed from Rio in 2016 to now being like the veteran and like the main U.S. backstroke guy in 2023?
Yeah, I feel like I was almost a little baby, and I say baby, I just see a baby over there. I wasn't that little of a baby, but I feel like I was definitely very green in the sport. Like I was very young. My improvement curve was very steep, and so I was really riding the high. I felt like every single meet, I felt like I could go best time. My confidence was really riding supreme. But I think now I'm very intentional. I feel like I've learned a lot more about the sport. I've learned a lot more about my body. And so I think I'm a little bit more measured in my success now. I feel like my success now is very repeatable because I know exactly what I'm doing to improve. So yeah, definitely just really the evolution of the career.
So what's left for you now in your career in terms of goals? Like you've marked off Olympic champion, individual world champion. Where are you at now? What are your goals heading into next summer? Yeah, as much as you're willing to share.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I don't really look at goals as like, oh, I've done this. It's a race. I'd love to repeat some of the things that I've done. I'd love to go and win Olympic gold in multiple events. I'd love to do that in the 100 and the 200 back and in a couple of relays. So yeah, I'd love to compete. I love to push myself. I want to reach my potential. I feel like I've been improving in practice, and I'd love for that to show up in the races and go some best times.
You said a couple of relays. Are we going to potentially see you take on like a 100 freestyle next summer?
You're not going to see me in 100 freestyle now. I love to train it, but we've got some studs in the 100 freestyle. They're going to hold that down, and I think they should go out and win gold. and I'm going to be rooting my butt off for them to do that. But I don't see myself being a part of that race.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you.
And the golden goggles goes to... Oh, no, I see why they asked us to give this award.
Should I say it in the rowdy voice?
It's a tie! It's a tie!
Katie Ledecky and Kate Douglas!
Thank you. This is cool. I first off want to thank USA Swimming and the USA Swimming Foundation for a great night, and thank you to all of you for being so generous to even be here and to support each of us as we compete and to support the next generation of young swimmers that are just learning to swim. I want to thank my coach, Anthony Nesti, for guiding me and helping me achieve what I did this summer, and to all my Florida teammates, many of whom are here tonight. Thank you for pushing me each day. And finally, I want to thank my family. My mom is here tonight, and just thinking back to 20 years ago, why I started in the sport, it was because my mom and my dad knew and saw that swimming for a summer league swim team could mean meeting a lot of new friends. And I know that my parents were right, because this room is filled with a lot of my friends. And I love the mission of the USA Swimming Foundation because it's inspiring young swimmers to learn how to swim, and I know that they're going to meet a lot of friends through this sport. So thanks for all that you do. Thanks to everyone that supported me. Thanks to Tier for supporting me. And thanks to all my teammates, USA teammates as well, for making the summer a lot of fun. And I know we're going to get after it these next 8 months and show them what we got in Paris. So let's go.
Yeah, I mean, Katie said it all. She's done this a few times, so congrats. But yeah, I want to, thank my parents and Arena too for everything, and USA Swimming Foundation for just supporting all of us athletes. And I want to give a special thank you to UVA, all the coaches, especially Todd DeSorbo, and all of my teammates, a few of which are here tonight. Special shout out to my roommate, Maddie Donahoe. She's been my date to this event for the past 3 years, and it's been awesome. So yeah, thank you.
So, Katie, obviously this is like your 10th Golden Goggles at this point.
Something like that.
What's the experience been like the past decade competing for Team USA? And can you compare sort of your first experience on the international stage to now being a veteran and a leader 10 years later?
I've loved every opportunity I've had to represent Team USA. It's always an honor to put on the Team USA cap, the American flag, and be on some really special teams with a lot of the swimmers here, whether they're retired or currently competing. It's always fun to see them at Golden Goggles, especially.
Next summer is potentially a fourth Olympic Games. Where's your mindset at and your mentality at heading into this summer compared to being a wide-eyed 15-year-old in 2012?
Yeah, I'm super excited about the next 8-9 months leading into Paris, and I know Olympic trials will be really exciting this coming year at Lucas Oil Stadium, and so I feel like I have a lot of experience under my belt now, having done this a couple times, and so I'm just going to try to use that experience to carry me, and I know what to expect, so I'm excited.
So one last question for you. This summer you became the first person to win 6 800 frees in a row?
I forget. I think it's 6. Yeah, 6.
6 800 frees.
I don't really think too much about it.
How does it feel having that accomplishment on your belt and potentially going into a 4th 800 free title next summer?
It's fun. I just take it one at a time. As you can tell, I don't really count. So I just go 1 year at a time, make my preparation the best that I can, and swim as fast as I can when I get there.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time. So now that you've graduated college and you're fully set on a pro swimmer, how has your training changed compared to when you had to juggle both NCAAs and World Championship or Olympic trials?
Honestly, it hasn't changed much. I'm still training with the UVA college team because that's kind of just what I know, and I like the coaches and how they train there, so that's what I'm doing. But I guess it's a little different because I'm not going to the same college dual meets as them, so I'm focusing more on long course racing, and so I kind of just train through the meets that they're swimming at, and I'm focusing on US Open in December.
So I actually got to sit down with your head coach in early September and interview him, and he talked about obviously the Virginia women's team is a group of exceptionally versatile athletes.
Yeah.
So he talked about training from event to event, just focusing on a single event per day. Could you sort of give your take on that and how you train for being able to place in a 200 breaststroke final and then a 100 freestyle final?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I love that I have the ability to be able to swim a lot of different strokes and events, and it's really nice to be able to train for those. And yeah, I feel like UVA has and Todd has done a great job with helping me train for all those events. And, yeah, some days I'll go in and do a 50 free practice, and some days I have a 200 breaststroke practice. We kind of have, each day is kind of geared more towards a different event, and yeah, I like it a lot.
So last question for you. Now that you've graduated and you're out of eligibility, how is it sort of being a fan of the team and watching the people who are competing, as they head into potentially a fourth in a row NCAA title?
Yeah, it's definitely, it's sad to not be able to contribute and help the team out now, but it's definitely awesome to kind of just sit back and relax and watch everyone else swim really fast at these meets. And yeah, it's fun to kind of be their cheerleader now instead of their teammate. And yeah, it's fun.
Awesome. Just sort of taking on a leadership role within the team.
Yeah.
So, Alex, obviously this year was your first senior international experience. Can you talk about how that's set you up for success in your mind heading into the Olympic year and how that's boosted your confidence?
I think, going into the meet, it was just a little goal of mine. I didn't really know what to expect if I was even going to make the team. So the first day when I didn't make it in the event I thought I had the best chance, I kind of shifted my mindset thinking, can I make it to finals? How good of a place can I get? And I ended up making finals and then making the team, and then just being a part of Team USA. It was a really cool experience, and it makes you want to do it more and more. And so going into the Olympics this year, or Olympic trials, I say my confidence is where it needs to be. But I'm always working on things to get better. Is being the best swimmer I can be.
That's a pretty mature mindset to have, and a pretty good mindset to have, especially when you're racing against some of the best athletes in the world.
Right. I give a lot of credit to that to my mom, my dad. My dad was an Olympian, so he's been through a lot of high pressure meets. But also my coach, he helps boost my confidence. He pushes me really hard in practice, and he also came along to Japan with me in Singapore, so I never felt like I was out of place, and he was guiding me through the whole process.
That must have been a pretty special experience. So, Alex, obviously you've been around on the international stage for a few years now. Can you sort of talk about that progression from making the Olympic team, winning a medal, to now being a world champion heading into potentially your second Olympic Games?
Yes, I can. I think for me, the Olympics was my first really big international meet. So I kind of feel like a different person. I was very naive, didn't really know what to expect. I feel very prepared now, and just a lot more confident heading into hopefully my second Olympics.
So in September, I actually got to sit down on Zoom with your head coach, Todd DeSorbo, and I got to interview him, and I asked him about the versatility of the Virginia women's team.
Yeah.
And now the men's team is starting to get really versatile as well. Yeah. Can you sort of talk about, at least from your perspective, how it feels training for different events every day and how you handle that?
I love it. I don't think I would have it any other way. I personally think for me, mixing it up in terms of stroke, what levels of aerobic capacity I'm hitting, I think that works really well for me because it spices things up and makes practice fun and interesting. And I'm happy that the men's team is kind of following suit in that, because I think they just have a lot of greatness to come, and it makes me, like, considering that I'm a fourth year, it makes me really excited for the future.
And then I asked Gretchen about this too, but in 2015, Bronte Campbell and Kate Campbell medaled together on the international podium, and it was the first time, to my knowledge, that two siblings had medaled together.
Yeah.
Has that sort of been on your mind, hey, I could potentially be on a relay with my sister and medal with my sister?
Yeah, I think it's really hard, because I think, like, it's a really good thing that we don't swim the same events, because then our competitive nature doesn't, like, intersect. But I think, yeah, the only way that I feel like that could be possible is in, like, a relay or, like, the 2 free. I know she mentioned that. So I don't know if that's in for store next year, but it would be really cool to do something like that. And but already being on this journey with her, and hopefully qualifying for the games together, like, that would already be a dream come true.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah.
So this has kind of been like the Gretchen Walsh coming out here on the international stage. Like, made your first world championship team, dropping crazy fast swims every other weekend. Can you sort of talk about, like, how this year has gone for you and, like, your excitement heading into the Olympic year?
I mean, this year has been everything that I could have, like, wanted and more. I've had so much fun just with the UVA swim team, and then also Team USA this summer. I think, like, having that first international team this past summer is going to really set me up well going into hopefully Paris 2024. And it made me realize that was something I really wanted to accomplish. That's something that I know that I can accomplish. I feel confident going into the summer. But for right now, I'm just enjoying NCAA swimming, and I'm looking forward to ACCs, NCAAs with my team. I love short course, maybe a little bit more than long course. So yeah, I'm just trying to have fun with it still. I love swimming, so I think if I'm a happy swimmer, I'm a fast swimmer.
So on the international stage, it's only ever, to my knowledge at least, been Kate Campbell and Bronte Campbell are the only two siblings to medal together in the same race back in 2015. Has that sort of been on you and Alex's mind of, like, hey, we could be on a relay together, we could be on a podium together? Like, what would that feel like for you, the potential to medal with your sister on the podium?
Honestly, I guess we haven't really thought about medaling together because we do swim such different events. But I mean, that would be a dream come true, because we swim on relays together all the time under UVA. So I don't know, maybe we'll have to discuss me doing the 200 free. I don't know. But for right now, I think we're definitely focusing on, like, making it individually before we set any, like, joint medaling goals. But that would be a career highlight for sure.
So I've got a sticker for you as well for the Big Friendly Swim podcast.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Yeah.
Is this good enough?
Yeah.
All right.
So, Kieran, in the past couple of years, you've kind of transformed into, like, the main middle distance guy for the U.S. in, like, the 200 and the 400. What has that experience been like? And, like, has it sort of dawned on you that, like, now you're the guy that, like, people are chasing?
Yeah, I've definitely wanted to fill into the shoes of guys like Peter Vander Kay, Connor Dwyer, Connor Yeager in 2016 was our 400 representative, and and obviously Phelps and Lochte. I mean, those guys were the greatest 200 freestylers in this country that the country's ever seen in a long time. It's really special. It's challenging staying at the top, staying inside the top 2 every year, but it motivates me to make sure that I am training my butt off to make sure that I am continually resealing my spot on Team USA.
So coming off of the Olympics and that 800 free relay, it was stated as a goal for all 4 members of that relay that we want to have some redemption for this and some fulfillment of, like, the potential of that relay. And obviously you guys had that. You won a world championship title. Can you talk about, like, the experience of being able to come back a year later and win with not all 4 of the same guys, but with a few guys who were on that relay in Tokyo?
Yeah, I think I can speak on behalf of me and Drew that it was a pretty bad blow not being able to win a medal at the Olympics that year. But it was a really big deal for us to win in 2022 at the Summer World Championships, and especially break the world record at the 2022 Short Course World Championships. So no matter who the four guys are on the relay, we're always looking for the gold medal. We're always trying to beat Great Britain and Australia and Russia and
anybody who's chasing.
And anybody who's chasing, right. It's really important for us to be on top of that relay.
Awesome, Pierre. Well, nice to meet you.
Thank you.
So, could you just talk about your excitement of making a world championship team for the first time? Because, I mean, obviously it was on your mind going into trials, but at least it wasn't really on anybody's radar.
Yeah.
How did that excitement translate into the world championships?
Honestly, the excitement just like kept me rolling all the way through Worlds. I was in a really, really good place with training, and I knew I just had to keep that up going into the meet, and it just made me really excited to be better. Honestly, it just showed me what I was capable of, which I really liked, and just knowing that I could be at that level just made training a lot easier, made me want to go a lot faster.
How has it helped you going into like a world or an Olympic years, and like your excitement and confidence going into trials and stuff?
It's just made training so much more fun, honestly. Like, I've never enjoyed training like I have now, because I know what I'm capable of, and I know now that it's an option. So I just know I have to keep my training up, and I'm really excited for Olympic trials coming in June.
You sort of gotten that monkey off your back of like,
yeah,
I know I can hang with the best in the world, like I can do this.
Yeah, knowing that I could be up there is a new thing for me this summer, so it's a really good feeling.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I have a sticker for you.
Oh my gosh, really? That's sick.
Everybody's gotten so excited about it.
I'm so excited.
It's just
Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm on Instagram and YouTube. And
awesome. I'll check it out.
So over the past couple of years, you've sort of grown into your own as like a member of the U.S. national team. Can you talk about that progression of going from being on the junior level to dropping like crazy splits at junior Pantax last year to like finally being on the world championship team and going with Team USA?
Yeah, so I think everyone sort of dreams of kind of climbing the pyramid, and it's easy to think that once you're on one step of the pyramid, you take for granted that you're going to reach the next step, but I think it's just been really exciting to finally like level up in that way and be able to be a part of the national team.
That's awesome. So heading into the Olympic team, how did making the world championship team sort of boost your confidence and like make you think, okay, this is something that I could do?
Yeah, it's really helpful. It's great to get kind of a taste of what it's like to be on the big international team for the year, but I think it's always really easy to be like, okay, I've done that, this will be easy, and I have to remember that I still have to keep putting in the work in because everyone else is doing the same thing.
Especially in like the 200 freestyle, it's a pretty loaded field of like exceptionally talented athletes. I've got a sticker for you. It just says at Big Finley Swim Podcast. I've got Instagram and YouTube.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. That's everything I got for you.
Thank you.
So with this being like your 7th or 8th Golden Goggles at this point, how's it changed going from being like a new person on the Olympic team and being like just wide-eyed and excited to be there to now like you're the veteran, you're the leader, helping people like, as you head into like 2024?
Yeah, I think, in terms of Golden Goggles, it's gone from me being excited to find a dress to me kind of dreading having to find a dress. But in terms of just being a leader on the team, it's been a wonderful transition. I had a lot of really, really great people that were my captains and leaders growing up when I was young on the team. So I'm happy I get to be that person for our younger crew. And since we have such a young team, that's something I really enjoy and look forward to.
So one more question for you. So you started out, you made the Olympic team in the 200 breaststroke in 2016, but you stated it as a goal that you wanted to medal in the 200 breaststroke. And you have now. You won a world championship title in it. How has your training now changed? Are you training more for the 200 or the 100 heading into 2024?
I think it's actually been the opposite. So when I first started, very, very good in the 100, not as good in the 200, and I was really training a lot for the 200. That 200 kind of came around a couple years later, and now I'm training a little bit more for the 100. So I think we're trying to find a really good balance with the training between balancing the 200 and the 100, and I guess we'll see what happens.
Awesome. But here,
cool.
I have a sticker for you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So obviously this year you weren't really on anybody's radar to make the World Championship team, and then you had an individual spot and you won a medal on the relay. Can you talk about how that has enhanced your confidence going into Olympic trials next year, and how that's helped you train for NCAA's in March as well?
Yeah. So regarding being like a surprise candidate on this team, I mean, I just believed in myself, and like that's all I could do. You know, I swam my way into that A final, and I just felt like I had nothing to lose. But my confidence, I've never been this confident before in my life. You know, every time I step up to the blocks, I just feel like I'm gonna win. And you know, I think that's definitely a huge upgrade from last year. I think my mindset is definitely improved. So.
And so, heading into that World Championships, what was the experience like for you? Obviously, it was a huge group of newcomers to World Championships. Did you guys have sort of like a camaraderie of like, we're all in this together, like this is our first senior international experience, let's do this?
Yeah, I think we were all able to come together a little bit. You know, it was definitely a learning experience for most of us. I know for me, I took a lot of great things away from it, and I'm just trying to apply it into next year.
Okay.
All right, so Nick, in the past couple of years, you've become like the guy for breaststroke in the U.S. How has that mantle like come to you, and like how do you feel about it, and how has it like changed how you look at breaststroke in the United States and like your competition across the world?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because even when I was younger, and there was a bunch of us that were kind of going back and forth on who would make these trips and who would set records and all that stuff. We'd be on relays. It always seemed like an older man's event, the 100 breaststroke, and breaststroke in general is probably an old man stroke. So it's actually kind of funny that my career's kind of played into that more so, and that the older I've gotten, the more success that I've seen. Just because we would joke about that before, but it's kind of come to fruition, and yeah, you could say that you know, I've taken over the mantle of breaststroke for the U.S., but you know, it's so competitive, so deep every year, and you got kids like Matt Fallon who are just breaking out, just scratching the surface, and you know, Josh Bethany stepped up big this past summer. So there's guys who step up everywhere, and you know, I'm happy to continue having this success. It's something I never thought that would happen, especially at this stage. So it's been kind of an honor to represent the U.S. and continue to do so, and yeah, it's totally unexpected. So you know, I would say, you know, all the hard work and stuff pays off, and it does, but it's more than that. It's just, you know, appreciation for the journey, I guess, at this point.
So going into Tokyo in 2021, finally making that Olympic team, what was that feeling like of like after all those years of being on the national team, World Championship teams, I believe dating back to like 2013?
Yeah.
How did that feel to finally be able to like put that feather in your cap of like, I'm an Olympian?
Yeah, well, it's funny because I think there's like certain, like, I don't know, you're like in the rookie group when you make certain teams, and I wanted to lay claim that I have potentially, I didn't fact check this, the largest gap between rookie seasons in USA Swimming history, where I had a rookie season in 2013, and then 8 years go by, and then a rookie season in 2021 for my Olympics. So I think
you might be right.
I think it's pretty close, if not. But I think in that regard, it was more relief than anything. It wasn't even really happiness. It was just like kind of a sigh of relief, like, oh, thank goodness. So you know, especially after the 100 breast too, where I got third by less than a tenth, and you know, you kind of at that point have perspective on what Olympic trials is really about, and you know, it's a very emotional meet, and I think at that point I had nothing left to lose. You know, what's there to be scared of when you've already gotten third by less than a tenth, when you've already missed the team, when you're seeded 2? So I think that 200 breasts, it was actually a lot easier than most people would have thought, and that's kind of the momentum and the thought process I'm going to have going into this next one. I've experienced all the highs and lows of the sport, so you know, anything I can do right now is going to be awesome.
Awesome, man. Well, nice chatting with you. Thank you. So, Ryan, the past couple of years sort of coming to your own as a backstroker for the United States, what has that experience been like? What are you feeling heading into the Olympics next summer?
I think that my journey has changed a lot over the years, and recently going pro, I've just like had a much better relationship with swimming. So going into next year, I'm really excited to it kind of takes a little pressure off. You know, since I've become a pro, it is more about me and not as much about a team. So I'm just trying to go into it with no expectations and do my best.
So obviously, women's backstroke in the U.S. is crowded. It was like there's an article posted this summer about World Championships where 8th place at U.S. trials would have made the final at World Championships.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
What is it like going into every international trials with that deep field of athletes to compete against?
To be honest, a lot of people say, oh, I would not want to be a backstroker because the field is so deep. But I like the competitiveness. I think it makes me stronger, and everyone who's fighting for the spot is really fighting. So I take a lot of pride in the fact that I'm a backstroker and that the spots are limited. You never know who's gonna get it. So.
I think especially this year, looking at somebody like Kennedy Noble, who dropped 4 seconds on her backstroke, it almost breeds excellence when there's so many people doing so well.
Yeah, I'm actually I train with Kennedy pretty often since I'm now training in NC State. Yeah, I'm excited to see how she does this year, especially short course and going into the summer. It'll be nice to have a friendly face behind the blocks with me at finals.
I'm excited. I got to sit down with her after trials. I'm excited to see how she does too.
Cool, yeah, me too.
Well, in the past couple of years, the Sandpipers have really made their name known on the international stage. I was listening to the Kickset podcast, and it was Brennan Gravely talking about at Open Water Nationals, half the entries are Sandpipers.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that experience being on the team for so long, and how it's sort of transitioned now to everybody in the U.S. at least knows who the Sandpipers are?
I think it's so cool having everyone having a team that has such motivated people, and it's cool that everyone what has similar goals if not the same. So we are all working and pushing each other every day at practice. So I think it's really cool to have everyone by your side, and since you're going through the same thing, it makes it easier to go through it, and the mental toughness of it. It makes it easier to go through since everyone is with you.
Awesome. So, especially heading into next summer, now that you've made that World Championship team, especially made it in individual events, how has that boosted your confidence, especially when it comes to sprinting? Because I know you've been talking about let Bella Sim sprint.
I would say definitely the training is a big part of it, and just trusting the process. You've worked your way through everything, and so just being in the right mindset and reminding yourself to have fun, and not everything is too serious. This is not the definition, or this isn't your this isn't your whole life. There's always a life besides this, and just not taking everything too seriously, because it's not everything, and just having fun with it and making sure that you're enjoying your ride.
So, last question for you is, in these past couple of years, as you've gotten to compete with your teammates on the international stage and be on relays with your teammates, how has that changed any experiences at practice for the better? And what is it like being able to compete with these people that you've grown up with on the international stage?
It's so cool seeing everyone achieve their goals and reach for them and make them even higher. I think being able to be on the same team with them makes it easier, because it's easier because that way you're not fighting for a spot not you don't know, but it's you have a better chance of knowing that you're going to be on a team with them, and pushing each other in practice makes it easier because you just want each other to be better. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time. So, Ryan, honestly, as a 15-year-old, I looked up to you a lot, especially after your performance on the 400 free relay and getting named to that spot in the final. Can you sort of talk about your first experience on the Olympic team and being on that relay, and then leading to now you've made your first individual spots and been in individual finals at World Championships?
Yeah, I mean, making the first Olympic team was a dream come true. I mean, as like I was when I was a little kid and I was wanting to. And,
We're at 15.
And making an individual event has always been a goal of mine that I always just work towards, and this year I finally got that individual swim. So it's not so much like as failing the past previous years, because that's a fixed mindset. Success is not determined by 1 year; it's determined by a whole career. So just finally achieving that goal is great.
Awesome. And now while you're heading into an Olympic year, how did this summer and making those individual spots, how did that boost your confidence heading into your third or fourth Olympic trials?
Third. Yeah, I did some in high school. It definitely boosted because it almost made me not boost confidence. It almost makes me like hungrier to swim that, have that one more like individual swim, and I got a taste of it, and now I don't want to give it up, and I want to keep doing it.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you.